Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Golden Blooded is a college football YouTube channel for entertainment. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into our next college football video. Well, the refs screwed up in the Texas Bowl between Ole Miss and Texas Tech, and Lane Kiffin is not happy about it. As far as the game goes, Texas Tech blows out Ole Miss 42-25. Both of these teams finished 8-5. This was a close game there for a while, but then Texas Tech just started piling it on, and Ole Miss had no answer. But Lane Kiffin, the head coach of Ole Miss, is not happy about a particular penalty. What am I talking about? Well, the refs ended up penalizing the wrong player for Ole Miss. They penalized number 11 for Ole Miss, who was Watkins, instead of penalizing who they should have, which was number 11 for Texas Tech. Texas Tech's Dimitri Moore, number 11, got into a fight with Ole Miss's offensive lineman Jaden Williams, number 71, after a fumble. Moore was accused of spitting on another player and possibly using a racial slur. Here's what Lane Kiffin had to say about the officiating of this game, particularly about that instance of calling a penalty on the wrong player. He said there was a racial slur involved. That's not the point of what we're talking about. It's about the spitting part. I brought our own 71 up to the officials, right or wrong. You see him crying? He's not crying because he got spit on. It's because something was said. Okay, that doesn't make that much sense, but okay. When he was asked about the racial slur, I'm not going to, because I did not hear it. I'm not going to say that that happened for sure, that he gave a racial slur to our player. I was told that that was said in that incident, but I did not hear that. So that obviously would be a giant issue. I'm going to defend our players when a kid spits on them and is accused to a national audience that it's him. So Jordan has to deal with this. He goes on to say, if you actually watch over there, one of them's kind of laughing because he got off. He's screaming at the player. They're losing their mind on him. I talked to their coach afterwards. He was like, crazy officiating out there. I go, yeah, that was really bad on that one that your guy spit and our guy got the penalty. He was like, talking about the head coach for Texas Tech. Yeah, I know. So basically, Lane Kiffin is saying that the Texas Tech head coach was agreeing with him that the officiating messed up and called it on the wrong player. However, Texas Tech has responded to these allegations. First up, the head coach, Joey McGuire. He said, we are disappointed an opposing head coach, talking about Lane Kiffin, decided to insinuate serious allegations that are false and irresponsible. I have discussed the allegations with Dimitri Moore, the guy that Lane Kiffin accused of these allegations, and he disputed the two claims that were brought forth against him. I am proud of our team and our performance last night in what was a memorable win to close our season in front of a sea of Red Raiders. But he wasn't the only one that responded. Dimitri Moore, the player that was accused of these allegations, he responded, I can't state strongly enough that these accusations are false. It is disappointing to have my final game as a collegiate athlete overshadowed by false accusations that were stated last night. Since I have arrived at Texas Tech, I have strived to represent my teammates, this coaching staff, and most importantly, my family in the highest manner. It has been an honor to represent this program as we closed our season with a great team victory last night. So is it that Lane Kiffin is just pouting? Is he just making up stuff and falsely accusing people of stuff because he's mad that he lost that bowl game, the Texas bowl game? I mean, I could see that being the case. I mean, he's one of the most immature coaches out there. And Ole Miss fans, I am not trash talking you. This is about Lane Kiffin, not about Ole Miss. He has a history of doing stuff like this. So with the response from Texas Tech, it is possible that Lane Kiffin is just making up the entire thing to make everybody feel sorry for himself and his teammates. What I do know is that this will get looked into. I don't know if they have audio on this or videotape on this. It was in front of a national audience, so they can look at that. So it will get figured out if Lane Kiffin is falsely accusing this guy of stuff. Now, Lane Kiffin, if you notice, he did deflect and say, no, I'm not saying, this is just what I heard. I didn't hear it myself. This is what I was being told by this guy. So then the attention will be on this guy. Hey, did he really say that? What really happened there? And if Lane Kiffin made the whole thing up, then that guy's going to be mad at Lane Kiffin. So we'll see how this situation turns out. But this is not a good look for Ole Miss or Texas Tech and maybe Lane Kiffin. Who's telling the truth? Maybe time will tell. Listen, this is what I've been talking about. The officials have way too much power. And I know the argument is, well, you don't want to slow down the game. You don't want it to take forever to get everything right. And I get that. But you don't want to give them just ultimate power. Whatever they say goes. I mean, they called the penalty on the wrong guy. Get it right. Penalize the right team and the right person. I mean, this is crazy. It's inexcusable. How do you penalize the wrong person? I understand. You got the numbers mixed up or the teams mixed up, whatever. But go back, make sure you penalize. Does the coach's word not mean anything? Because I'm sure the coach was letting him have an earful, but he wasn't paying attention, I guess. Or, no, we got it right. We got it right. The penalty on the right player. Why can't they just go back and look at it? I mean, the officials get so many things wrong. And yes, it does have an effect on the game. And I'm not saying get rid of officials. Officials have a place in all games. You have to have officials to enforce the rules. That is a fact. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to get things wrong. What's wrong with making sure that they get things right? But instead, it's just whatever they say goes. That is too much power. That is too much power on these individuals who are not getting paid enough. So they might, I'm not saying this is the actual truth, but they might be trying to make up for that lack of pay with some power. All right, they're not going to pay me as much as I want them to, so I'm going to exercise more power in these games. Who knows? They're human. They're human. I'm not saying that's exactly what they're thinking, but they are humans, and humans do make mistakes. And I'm sure this has happened before, but personally, I've never seen a ref call a penalty on a player for the wrong team. I've seen a ref call a penalty on the wrong player for the same team, but they got the player and the team wrong altogether. That's probably the worst you can do. Bottom of the barrel. Bad officiating. See, there's the thing. Even if your team benefits from a particularly bad call, that's not necessarily a good thing because that could happen to you in the future. So you want the officials to get it right as much as possible. Not just when it affects your team. Even if it goes against your team, you still want them to get it right because in the future, if they're not getting things right, they could screw your team over as well. As far as the racial slur goes, I don't know. That's just an accusation. Even Lane Kiffin said he didn't hear what was said, and if it did happen, not sure what exactly was said. But the refs 100% got that call wrong. That's another black eye on officiating, and it just gives everybody a chance to jump on the officials, and they're doing the best they can. Listen, I'm not here to say they're bad officials. They're humans. Humans make mistakes. Just make sure that those mistakes get corrected. That's all I'm saying. I am not saying that officials are not allowed to make mistakes. That is not what I'm saying at all. They are human. They're going to make mistakes. What I am saying is whenever they do make mistakes, make sure that those mistakes get corrected. Otherwise, you're just letting them have free reign. And when they make mistakes, oh well, who cares? No accountability. We can do whatever we want. We have ultimate power. Whatever we say goes. And it doesn't matter if we make mistakes. Those mistakes have to get corrected because it's a slippery slope if those mistakes are not corrected. And this was a crazy mistake. It's kind of ridiculous. I understand, players get mixed up, teams get mixed up, but somebody should have said, hey, hold on. You called it on the wrong player. Go back out there and correct yourself because I've seen that happen many times. We've heard officials call the wrong player for a penalty. Then they go back up and they say, excuse me, no, it was this number for this team. And they correct the situation. That did not happen in this situation. And I actually feel bad for the refs because it makes them look incompetent. Do y'all know in the comments section, do you think I just made a big deal over nothing? Or do you think there needs to be something in place to make sure that these mistakes that the refs made actually get corrected? Not saying that the refs can't make mistakes, but when they do, the mistakes need to be corrected. That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.